Easy people, another quick one. I just want to talk about using the notes because I think notes is so fantastic. It's the note config is just brilliant. There's things I hopefully pray they add, but I think they might be adding them. But anyway, we won't get into that. And I want to use some other types, and this is just something I've come across recently, is using tonettes and bass. And I'm going to start with bass. And why I say sometimes it's worth going past using scale, because normally a lot of times to create bass lines I would just use scale. So I'm gonna create a bass line here. I'm gonna do a new bass sound, and then I'm gonna make a bass line for this tune. And this is great for anybody who's like stuck on bass lines and you're like, well, I don't know how I'm going to come up with a bass line for this. Normally, I would just go with the scale thing. I'll go shift scale or whatever. I'll do it on my keyboard and whatever. But you tend to find that you fall into certain pockets that way of just playing certain things, and maybe notes won't come to you. So it might be sometimes worth it just to move down to something like bass. So you've got all the notes what are lit up here, but also you have access, which is better, is you have access to notes what are in the scale that you're playing, because sometimes you might hear something go, oh right, that might drop right. So with that said, no, I'll do that as played, and I'll bring that down one. So this sequence here might not come to me. This sequence might not come to me just because of the way these patterns are laid out. It gives you a different way of looking at them. Same with the tonettes. I don't know if I'm saying it right. Tonettes. These are laid out in a different way. So let's go with bass and see what happens. Me personally, I always have this I have this approach that what I've learned, sometimes more is less, but what I tend to do is I'll play a load of notes in, and then I'll start taking them away and subtract them and say, how many notes can I leave in to keep the groove? Because sometimes you can flood out a bass line with a bass line with a load of notes, and it kind of just changes the vibe. And I've noticed to keep things hard, you want less. So anyway, let's see what I have here. So there, straight away, I like that. I don't know what it was. I wish I knew what I played there. All right, we'll go with that. Another one, so. That's nice. So I like that. Something just came up straight away. I played something. I've got no idea what it was, but... And as I always say, just play as much as you know and leave space for it to come round. So that's the first part. And I'm going to leave something else. I don't know what's going to come in, but we'll... I'll get it right one of these days. One of these days I'll do it right and it'll just work straight away. But like I say, I always like to do things live, so you know this is all capable. Here we go. Something else and something else. I like this one. Something else. Oh, stupid man. Right. Something else. Let me just make sure this is 4 bar, 2 bars. Yeah, right, okay. Yeah, that'll do. So I think I'll leave that there. Right, I'd probably go to town and work on that, but this is how quick you can get an idea just by a simple thing of using different note config types, because the scale, the things are there, so you already know which of the keys what are going to be in the scale. But if you look at this now, just to prove the point, I'm going to do a new one here, but I'm going to do it in a tonic. What comes up in a tonic? Let's see. So that's a different thing. Something else comes up because I'm seeing something else. And in scales, would I have seen that? No, because it's a different configuration. So if I would have done it in scale, I know I would have been all kind of old school, funky kind of. See, I'm already doing it. I'm falling back into my old style of traps, and I can feel it. And I'm going da da da, and it's just like, yeah, it's got a dated feel. But something like that, that's making me think in a different way. I might move some notes, I might shift some notes, but I'm thinking different. It refreshes. So another thing, just changing the style. So that was talking about note config and looking at basslines. So I hope that's been helpful. Please like and subscribe, share if possible, and I'll catch you next time. Till then, peace.